All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the Oklahoma City Economic Development Trust meeting of December 16th, 2025. Now to call the meeting to order. Item 2 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the November 18th, 2025 trust meeting. If there's no questions or comments, we can take a motion. We can take a motion.
Yeah,
Oh. All right, we're ready to take a motion. We have a motion and a second. Please vote. The item passes. Item 3 on the agenda is the ratification of claims for November of 2025. We could take a motion on this item as well. We have a motion and a second. The item passes as well. This brings us to items for individual consideration. Item 4A is a joint resolution between the city and trust approving an allocation not to exceed $69,385 in pay for performance film incentives for the Filmmakers Table, LLC.
Good afternoon. It's good to see you again.
Good to see
It's
you.
been a while. I'm excited to bring you a 100% local project. It is a 22 half-hour episode scripted TV series. And think of it in terms of a talk show that's all about the film industry. And it is being produced at Filmmakers Ranch, where they're going to bring in various experts from the industry based on relationships that Richard Janes has around the country. And they're going to talk about everything from agents packaging projects to what it takes from various crew members to distribution and really anything related to the industry. So I think there will be some built-in interest. They're going to film in January. I believe they're going to start in early January, conclude by the end of the month. Produced by Oklahoma City-based Filmmakers Table, LLC, which is Richard Janes' LLC he set up for this project. 100% filmed on stage at Filmmakers Ranch, which is on Post Road, which I think some of you have visited. 84% of the crew is Oklahoma City-based. Anticipated Oklahoma expenditures are $693,852, which was 100% of the budget. They hit every mark for being considered for the additional 5%, bringing them to 10%. And I've listed those on this card. Minimum spend of $500,000 for a series. More than 50% of the crew are local, and in this case, 84%. More than 75 days filmed in Oklahoma City proper, and that's actually 100%. Eye towards vendors from diverse companies, that's 100%, because one of the equipment vendors the equipment vendor they're using is female owned. They're doing post-production at Apex Post, which is also at Filmmakers Ranch, and doing 100% of that at Apex, and they're pre-qualified for the state rebate program. So based on all of these criteria, I'm recommending, I've got Chanticleer in there, sorry. Recommending that Long Table be considered for the full 10%, which would be $69,385. They're hiring 53 local crew members from our 7-county MSA area, which extrapolates out to 6,360 days based on the 120-day schedule. 84% OKC residents. Qualifying income labor is $330,250. And again, 120 days, 100% post-production at Apex Post, which is something we really like to see. Just another snapshot, 100% of days here, 84% crew, 100% of vendors. And these are the numbers based on our economic impact modeler that we run at the chamber. The total economic impact for this project is $1.48 million in Oklahoma City. Jobs supported, direct and indirect, 71. Labor income, 574,252. And then again, for a $693,852 investment, taxable expenditures for Oklahoma City equate to $363,602. Below the line salary and per diem, which is the crew, is $159,815. Above the line salary, which is capped at 25%, as you know, is $170,435. Do you have any questions?
Any questions, comments? All right, if
Can I
not-
just add something really quickly?
Sure.
I'm late because my phone is ringing off the hook with people wanting to come in. I just got 2 more applications, one for $6 million, one for $7 million. I have another one I'm talking to tomorrow, and a third that's likely to come in for $10 million. We are busy, so that is a really good thing.
That's good news.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we can take a motion. And a second. Please vote. The item passes. Thank you very much. Item 4B is lease and management agreement with Freedom Center of OKC LLC for the operation of the MAPS 4 Clara Luper Civil Rights Center. Mr. Sudol?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is the lease agreement for the Freedom Center to be the operator of the Clara Luper Civil Rights Center. Just a couple of highlights of, this would be a 5-year agreement for the initial term and have 3 5-year renewals. There is, as you remember, there were funds put, I believe it was about $9 million put into the MAPS Investment Trust that, as that is invested and earns, that will be a source that will be allocated to this project to help with the operations. But beyond that, I believe the rest of it is on the Freedom Center to operate. Other than that, I think those were pretty much the big highlights, but it just lays out that's who's going to be running it and setting all the schedules and rates and everything. So be happy to answer any other questions.
Any other questions or comments? All right, we can take a motion. We have a motion and a second. The item passes. Item 4C is amendment number 1 to the Convention Center Hotel Project Economic Development Agreement with the Omni OKC LLC. Mr. Sudol.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this one and the next item is related. As part of there's an economic development agreement and a redevelopment agreement related to the Omni project. This item 4C is the economic development agreement. Pretty much what we need to do was just change some dates. So there's a couple of different payments that Omni is supposed to make. One's a land payment and one's a participation payment if their revenues go or their net operating income goes over a certain date or amount. The date was January 1st on both of those. Once we got into this, and these were both supposed to start here in 2026, as we started working with Omni, we realized there's a couple of things, the consumer price index and also the need for them to kind of get their financials finalized at the end of the year, that we all realized, hey, January 1's not a date that we can calculate this on, so this is basically just changing it to March 31st so that each year the CPI changes one of these numbers and the other number is based on their annual financials. So we really just need to shift those dates, and that's what's occurring, and that's what the amendment is in this economic development agreement.
And does that pertain to item 4C as well?
So 4C is the same. There's one other, or 4D is the same. There's one other thing. It was clarifying that the payments on the land purchase really go to the Urban Renewal Authority, and then the Urban Renewal Authority submits them to OCDT, which was part of the basket of revenues that pays the debt on the Omni project. It just clarifies that at such time, if the debt's ever paid off, that money stays with the Urban Renewal Authority, and that's the $200,000 a year, but it's adjusted by CPI each year. Currently, we project we probably would pay those bonds off before 25 years, as we put enough, the city's funding plan put enough things in there to hopefully pay that off early. but it was structured that way so that at least that payment would be available for the, I believe they were about 23-year bonds when we issued them. They were more than 20 years, I believe, but if they're paid off earlier, that's the only other part that D clarifies.
Okay. Any items on, or any questions on item 4C? No? If not, we can take a motion. And please vote. Item 4C passes. Any questions on 4D? All right, we can take a motion on it as well. Please vote. And it passes. Item 4E is a resolution extending time to award contract and awarding contract to Wind Construction Company Incorporated for the Myriad Gardens Chilled Water Installation Project.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So on this, as we put this out for bids, this is awarding to Wind Construction for a price of $775,000. This project would begin in the fall of '25. It's projected to end in the spring of '26. The other nuance on this item was under the Public Competitive Bidding Act, you're supposed to do your awards within 30 days of the bids being received. Because of some delays with getting the contract executed and the bonds and things in place and getting it on the agenda, there is a provision under there that with the agreement of the low bidder that we can extend that, and they have agreed to extend it because we're past the 30 days. So that's the one nuance on this, what otherwise is a pretty typical bid award.
And do we still expect, when do we expect it to be completed?
It was spring of '26 was what was listed.
Spring.
The last I heard from Public Works, the parts have been received for those air handling units, and they're working on getting them put together and in. And this would be the last part of actually connecting the chilled water to those units.
Okay, so spring.
Hopefully before it gets hot in the summer of
Yeah,
26.
definitely need it before it gets hot in the summer. So by spring, you mean March? March 15th? Would that be the date? Okay, thank you.
Let's call it April.
Okay, April 1st.
We'll get you a date.
Yeah, Fool's Day, yeah, okay. Any other questions on this item? All right, we can take a motion in a second. And the item passes. Thank you for your work on that project. I know it's desperately needed, so thank you. All right, item 4F, Ms. Tammy Fate is going to present the Retail Recruitment and Development presentation. Ms. Fate.
All right, thanks, Mr. Chairman. So I just wanted to give you an update on the 2025 retail year-end recap. So just to kind of kick things off, vacancy in the marketplace overall for cross properties is around 9%. About half of that for Class A market space. So seeing a higher demand for Class A. 1,500 to 5,000 square feet is a strong area that we're getting a lot of requests for. Experiential entertainment and mixed use is still leading the way in terms of really trying to cluster some of those activities together. Some of the concerns are still around inflation, rent pressures, tariffs, construction costs. So really trying to find that existing space in our market just because the construction costs are so expensive. Next slide. So here's a little bit to give you a little bit about the retail recruitment momentum. So active projects is around 38 to 40 all year, consistently each month. Our consistent national recruitment is around 173, and that was as of end of November. We just came back from 2 trade shows in the month of December. So we had an ICSC show in Phoenix and then also the national show in New York. And then our local outreach remains really strong. That includes regional centers, our existing malls, and also our districts. So engagement with them is about 85. And then our new to market developer site visits is 12 for the year. And then this is some of the things that we use to really kind of hone in on our engagement. So our mobile analytics tool, housing growth maps that we work with the city on, really doing those site visits and tours. Leading nationally as some of the major ULI and ICSC. So we are on several national leadership boards just to really kind of help elevate Oklahoma City's brand. We attended 14 different trade shows this year that were specific to retail, and then supporting the independent shopkeepers, helping with the holiday pop-up shops from their decorations, involved in Commercial Real Estate Council, CREW, and other leading real estate organizations. So this is a really exciting stat here. So we partnered with the Alliance and really pulled in our mobile analytics tool. So this allows us to look at how customers move based on their cell phone data. So we put geofences around specific shopping centers. We drew polygons around different areas of the city, and we work with developers to really highlight that. So just in the Chambers area of utilizing this, we've ran over 1,336 reports. So just, it's a way that we can reach out. Let's say you have some of these major developers in other markets who might not be thinking about Oklahoma City, that we can put this information in front of them and show the kind of numbers that we're getting and the attraction of how far people are willing to drive. So here's a major rundown of some of the major openings and expansions. So 85 Degree Bakery is the first location in the state, and it is an Asian grocery store located out on the Memorial Corridor. Aloe opened at Penn Square Mall, so athleisure yoga concept, first one in the market. And then Oak has had many openings this year with RH, Capitol Grill, Williams-Sonoma, Pottery Barn, Mazzaro, Tommy Bahama, and then the latest was Shake Shack. Scheels has came to our market now, so we did an $8 million incentive, so work with the Alliance and also the city, and that should be opening in the spring of 2028. Andretti's had their grand opening this summer, and what's really exciting about Andretti's is they were really unsure of how well they would do in our market, but once they came out of the gate, we were on pace with their headquarter location in Orlando, so it just shows you the need for more experiential entertainment, so they were really blown away by the success of our market. Same thing with Truck Yard. When they came here, the numbers that they were able to do in Bricktown has really led to other restaurant groups that we have been chasing for a number of years reach back out to me and say, our friend who opened Truck Yard is doing such good volume as we want to be in Oklahoma City. So Trader Joe's opened their first location in Oklahoma City proper. So the other location is in Nicholas Hills Plaza. So excited that this just opened like 2 months ago at Northwest Expressway. Slick City Action Park is a backfill of a big box that was on the south side, and it's an experiential concept, so we're able to work through, and using our Advent mobile analytics tool allowed us to really help drive this concept to locating here. Other big things that happened is Washington Prime, who owns Class and Curve, Nichols Hills Plaza, and the Triangle, was recently sold to 11 North Partners, which is a group out of New York. So we just had a meeting with them for the second time this year in New York. So just really kind of learning more about what they're looking for and what that looks like for them going forward. So strategic projects and initiatives, so really continue to focus on downtown. We've done many site visits downtown, really kind of showcasing the raw land, opportunities for entertainment, experiential development happening here. Really created a very unique relationship with the Stockyards District, just because of the horse and equine that we have here from an ag tourism standpoint, to really bolster some of the development that's happening there. And then with the Meridian Corridor, having the bid kickoff there and some of the planning that's happened in that corridor. Worked with the city and the Alliance on the retail incentive policy, updating those new thresholds. And then we serve as one of the players on the downtown strategic plan for the Sasaki team that is working on the strategic plan for downtown. So national leadership and visibility. So we had 7 speaking engagements for OKC Retail. So that's everything from moderating panels to serving on different speaking topics to highlight things that are happening from the Oak development to the Half to Chisholm Creek and other major developments that are underway. Some of the big players is ICSC. So we have a major presence at ICSC, which is the Innovating Commerce Serving Community. It's the largest retail trade show. Entertainment Experience Evolution is where all the new entertainment concepts come. Retail Live is an opportunity to really connect with a lot of small users. And then UO Live from a national perspective, serving as their Next America's incoming chair. So we continue to do interviews with the Oklahoman, KOCO. So we had 2 interviews this year to really kind of talk through what that retail landscape looks like. And then 14 different shows that were retail specific, really highlighting our brand and image. And then Western Equine Strategy is something we really leaned into. We are the horse show capital of the world, and it's an easy transition for us to really help bolster this area up. So we've had site visits from Appaloosa Horse Association and Wagyu Beef Association. Both of them relocated and moved their headquarters here, and both will be going to the Stockyard Main Street District. That just really helps from a tourism standpoint. So when we look at how we bring more people in and we bring retail to that corridor, having these associations and partnering with some of them is really key. Cattle associations, we're doing some events in January at the Cattlemen's Congress, and then also just really kind of meeting with those different merchants who are at a lot of these shows like AQHA and trying to build relationships for these retail products and see where those manufacturers are coming from so we can kind of help bolster that area as well. Continue to strengthen the corridor with the stockyards, as I mentioned, and also the fairgrounds and the OG&E Coliseum. So looking ahead, continuing to really keep our pulse on the destination retail, entertainment, experiential. That seems to be the driving force in terms of really clustering with all the new development that's happening downtown. Support the mixed-use growth across the regional shopping centers. We have a lot of new product that's coming online. Continuing to leverage our analytics to do storytelling. So like I said, we reach out to a lot of developers and help tell the story using data and demographics to kind of strengthen that, and then work really closely on the ag tourism driven retail concepts. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions or comments for Ms. Fate?
Not questions, but just comments. I'm glad to see some entertainment on South Oklahoma City.
Yes.
It's been, I actually got to experience it, and it was a lot of fun, so.
Oh, good.
Slick City was fun.
Yes.
I've seen some and gone to the Yukon and some of the Edmond and even Norman, but I'm glad to see some right in South Oklahoma City, so that was great.
Yeah, we've pushed a few other areas in the south side as well. So we recently, our traditional economic development team worked on a project that was over there near the AutoZone hub. So working with the partner out of Dallas who owns that building to kind of showcase that. And we have a really good relationship with a lot of the brokers and developers in Dallas, so making sure they understand the opportunities in our market is really key. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's great.
Anything else?
Slick City Action Park, is that in South Oklahoma City?
It is. It backfilled an old Conn's big box that went out. It was Paul Odom's site. So we worked with the broker out of Texas who represented Slick City, and they were looking for multiple locations in our market. And utilizing that admin platform allowed us to provide them data to show that that would be a very successful site.
The I-240 and Penn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was interested, I have a 4-year-old grandson coming home for Christmas.
You should go check it out. That would be a great Christmas present.
Should go, it's a lot of fun.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Fate. We can go ahead and take a motion to receive the presentation. We have a motion in a second. Item 4F passes. Item 5 is the General Manager's Report. Ms. McSpadden?
I don't have anything earth-shattering to report. We are paying bills and keeping our debt service updated, so I'd be happy to answer questions if anybody has any.
No questions? All right, thank you very much. Item 6, any comments from staff?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Any comments from the trustees?
Oh, sorry, that was,
Go ahead.
Merry Christmas again.
There we go. All right, any citizens signed up to speak? All right, that brings us to item 7. We are adjourned. Thank you.